Superstars, how's it going? This is Coach Wood, and it is time to get back after it, baby. I was excited to get with you guys today because we've got an amazing topic to talk about. Real football topic to talk about. There's some changes to the way things are done in recruiting, and college football recruiting isn't what it used to be. So excited to get into today's content, you guys. Hopefully all is well with you and your family. Hopefully you've been enjoying the Weekday Huddle. So if you are joining us for the very first time, this is the Before You Go Pro channel. I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood, and on behalf of me and my team, glad that you joined us today. There's a million things you could be doing, but you decided to stop by the channel. Now, if you've been rocking with us, if you do tune in, thank you tremendously. Please share with a friend. Please make sure that you subscribe so that we can grow this community. We want to have the best organic football community on YouTube, and we need you to be a part of that, baby. So thank you. This is free. This is free game, free content, free feedback. The questions that our athletes ask, we share that with you. Many of you guys have the same questions. We want to answer those questions and serve for free. So the best thing you can do to help us serve on a high level is hit that subscribe button. Also, we've got some cool stuff that we've curated for the football players, the fans, the coaches, the parents out there down in the description box. So check out the resources there. You may see the Before You Go Pro book behind me. It was written, I believe, in 2010, but no AI on that book. That is a real book. That is something that still stands the test of time, you guys. My journey through the industry, advice from others and myself, writing that book. We even give away a free audio book version of that book. So no excuse for an athlete or his parents not to take advantage of that. Okay, so let's get into today's topic, you guys. Once again, we always bring the stuff that is real, whether it's stuff that we hear from our athletes, stuff we see in the football industry news, trending news, or things that maybe I've learned or been through during the test of time, whether it was as an athlete myself, as a coach, or within the Before You Go Pro business. There's a lot that Coach Wood has seen, not a spring chicken no more. So I want to share that stuff with you. Maybe you don't have to go through some of the same mistakes that I made and others made, and maybe you can get to the top faster. And I would love for that to happen for you. So let's get into the topic, you guys. Today's topic is interesting, you guys, because I've been in the game for a long time. For those that don't know, Before You Go Pro is a college football recruiting and mentoring program. We work specifically with high school and junior college football players. And for over 2 decades now, you guys, we've helped young men get to the next level, achieve their dreams. We've supported them the whole way through, and it's a labor of love for me. So obviously, when you have that many years in an industry, you see a lot. You see a lot, you guys. And to be honest with you, when I first started Before You Go Pro back in 2006, it was difficult. It was very difficult in the beginning because back in 2006, we were still in the day and age where people didn't feel like they needed recruiting support. And really, we didn't even start off as a sole recruiting company. It was more so on the mental, moral, and social side, which we still harp and educate on today. But it was more on the mental, moral, social side. That was how we marketed. That was how we introduced ourselves to the market. And when we got crickets, because nobody cared in 2006 about the mental, moral, social side of a football player's journey, that's when we said, hey, we got some relationships and we can help with recruiting too. And that's when things started to move for the program and the company, you guys. But it still wasn't difficult, even though people started to join once we said, hey, we do recruiting too. It still was difficult in the beginning. You know why? The reason why it was difficult in the beginning was because of the narrative surrounding any type of recruiting support. Most of the coaches, the head coaches at the time when I started in 2006, were older than me at that time. So I have an old school mentality, especially a lot of you young athletes would think that. I have an old school mentality centered around the football industry and coaching. So if these coaches were older than me, they definitely had an old school mentality when I started before you go pro. And you know what the mentality was when it was centered around recruiting, or when recruiting was brought up, when college scouting was brought up in my day and age? The mentality, you guys, was that if you're good enough, they'll find you. If you're good enough, they'll find you. You don't have to worry about a thing. You don't have to get any support. You don't have to make any call. If they're good enough, they're going to stop by our high school. If you're good enough, they're going to stop by our high school and they're going to ask about you. That was the mentality that I grew up with, that the industry and all the coaches used to tell you whenever you were, if you were my age, whenever you talk to your high school coach about recruiting and you're saying, hey, it's a little slow, or when does that pick up, or how does it work? Hey, if they're good enough, they'll find you. That was the response that I got most of the time, and that I know many of my friends and teammates got. Maybe you got something different, but in my day and age, it was no need for a recruiter or somebody to help you get more exposure and have relationships to help you leverage your way into college. That was, I'm not going to say it was unheard of when I started before you go pro, because NCSA was kind of already doing their thing and cooking, and don't get me started on NCSA, but they were already starting to get revved up. But it was like, hey, you don't need that. And at the time, the coaches may have been right. Most of the coaches may have been right, especially if it was a big time high school, a St. Thomas Aquinas, a Mater Dei, something that where the colleges consistently stopped by the school, or they knew that was where the college level talent was. You probably didn't need a recruiter. Still to this day, depending on the school that you're at, some of these schools have recruiting services. The Graysons in Georgia, the IMGs, who just got into a little bit of trouble, they have recruiting services. Now, they've got a lot of athletes that they're working with. When you sign up with us, we're going to come up with something strategic for you and something personal for you, and we're going to stay with you through the highs and the lows every step of the way. But some of these schools do have some services and some people that do a pretty darn good job of trying to pitch at least the seniors on the team. But back when I started before you go pro, it was adamant, you guys. For one, the high school coaches wanted to keep full control. They wanted to be the full gatekeepers on who got to go through the next level and who didn't. The day and age that I came up in high school, you better not cross the high school head coach. You better not cross the high school head coach. You guys have seen those movies like Friday Night Lights. You better not cross the high school head coach, because that was the gateway. So in my day, they didn't want you to get any help from a recruiter or anybody from the outside, because they controlled the gateway. And all they would tell you is if you're good enough, they'll find you. But still, you needed them to vouch for you. Unless you were just a 5-star All-American, you still needed your high school coach to vouch for you. And if you weren't going to do anything on your behalf and you weren't getting any help, then that was the gateway. The high school coach, the junior college coach was your gateway. And things got funny back in the day when a door is closed and a recruiter is talking to your coach and nobody else is in the room. Things can get funny. So you had to make sure that you were good with your coach. And anytime you ask them, hey, should I get some support, or this person can help me? No, 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 you don't need that. So in the beginning, for before you go pro, it was a little difficult. Today, we don't get that anymore. A matter of fact, we've got a lot of high school coaches across the country, recruiters from high school coaches across the country that come to us. They come to us and they ask for help. They pitch their own players to us to try to get support for them, to try to get exposure for them. Unless you're a top tier high school program right now, or a junior college program, and maybe that coach has been around for a while, it's difficult for everybody. It's difficult for everybody. There's plenty of people still in the transfer portal that need exposure. There's high school kids that can play their tails off that are still looking for a home. And there's definitely junior college kids that can play their tails off that are still looking for a home. So a lot of the high school and junior college coaches today, 20 years fast forward to 2026, they're not saying you don't need any help support anymore. They're saying you better get going on it early. They're saying that I'm going to do all I can do, but you better get going on it for yourself, and you might want to look for some support. Matter of fact, here's before you go pro and Coach Wood. So now we have high schools coming to us, the coaches. We have junior college coaches coming to us and saying, hey, can you help me get this guy out? That happens every single year for the past 4 years. Hey, can you help me get this guy out? We're no longer having athletes go to their coach and never come back to us because their coach deterred the whole situation. The coach said no to it. Now when the athletes go to their coach, they're getting a coach that's saying, yeah, go get some extra support. Or a matter of fact, can I call him too so that I could be in the loop with your recruiting situations, or maybe even get a couple of your teammates to that program? Because now the cat is out the bag. People know if I'm at the high school level or the junior college level, I have to get going a little bit earlier. And if I do get a little bit on the late train, instead of just sitting back and thinking the old school, they'll find me. No, I've got to make sure that they see me. I've got to be proactive. I've got to get out there. Everybody is DMing you guys. Everybody is DMing. We tend to think that we're the only ones DMing, right? But if you look at some of these coaches' feeds, especially at the top program, they have thousands of kids that are DMing them. This is the day and age. Back in my day, you had to spend some of your money. You had to invest and literally send a VHS tape or CD to a coach. So the barrier of getting something to somebody actually cost. So you had less people investing and doing and sending out a bunch of film. If you sent out 15 films in a week, you were a boss. Today, you can send out 15 DMs in 5 minutes. So everybody's doing it. The barrier has went down. But since the barrier has went down, they're more inundated. They're more flooded. So how do you get seen? How do you get exposure? How do you break through the fray? You better have a relationship or be connected to a program or somebody that has some serious relationships. So the day and age of a high school or junior college coach telling an athlete that they don't need help, they don't need support, they don't need exposure, they'll find you. Those days are over, ladies and gentlemen. You better get after it. And if you need help, please feel free to reach out to us. But even if you don't, find someone that can spend some time, maybe even spend some investment to get you seen and get you in front of the right coaches. It may not be 10 schools that give you an offer. It may not even be 5. But guess what? You can only go to one, and yours is coming. So get that help, get that support you need. The day and age is over that you can sit back and relax. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Weekday Huddle. We're bringing the topics, we're bringing the things that you guys have heard about in the industry, the things you guys are going through, and the things that are trending so that we can win and get to the top, you guys. Check out those resources, hit subscribe. I'm Coach Wood. We'll see you at the top.